I think this is a pretty solid glass pad option if you're on a little bit more of a budget. The texturing is really similar to the Pulsar Superglide. There's a fine texture to it. It's definitely not as smooth as a Razer Atlas or an Asus ROG Moonstone. I actually prefer those glass pads, but yeah, this texturing, it still is nice. Gives a little bit of feedback when you're doing really fine mousing movements. Um, Things to note about glass pads is you will need probably an arm sleeve unless you're a very dry, if you're in a very dry environment. But any sort of moisture will lead to sticking, especially if you're doing a lot of static scenarios where you're keeping your mouse relatively in the same spot. Your palm or anywhere that contacts the pad will start condensing water and get a little bit sticky. Um, Other than, yeah, getting an arm sleeve, which I just use like a cheapo from Amazon sleeve that goes around the thumb also. Um, you also will want to have a microfiber close to your desk to clean it off. Any little bits of dust or crumbs or anything that get on the pad, you absolutely feel them underneath the mouse. Um, Otherwise, yeah, the glide, it's a fast glide. It's not like the fastest glass pads out there. These are just the stock. These are basically like core pads. Nice, thick, meaty virgin PTFE on this Lamzu Thorn. And yeah, it glides pretty well. Obviously a faster experience. There is a slightly different texturing on the other side. It's a bit coarser, but I'm pretty sure this is just the paint, like spray paint, and then this side is not painted. That's how a lot of glasses, like frosted glasses, they just frost the one side. So maybe you could use this double-sided, but I feel like this is going to wear down if it's just paint. The rubber feet they're silicone. They're literally just like 1 millimeter thick silicone. Of course, they stick very well to hard surfaces, but they're just at the corners. Still, you don't notice any sort of like wobble or anything. I guess you could take those off. They're just adhesive backed. The corners are all very nicely rounded. No issues there at all. Touch the fashion. I don't really understand that. But luckily the branding is pretty minimal. If you wanted to, if this is just paint, you could probably take a solvent and just wipe this off, and then you just have a clear glass pad. Or you could potentially even just paint over this. It does look like the Akko branding under there. Maybe that is a bit raised. Packaging was good though. I mean, they use this closed cell foam all the way around. No other accessories. So, and then it came in this box and Monster Shark. What do they have to say about it? So, yeah, 500 by 400 is a nice size. Personally, I like 500 by 500 because I do my full arm on the pad, but 400 is definitely enough height for most people. The 500 width is definitely necessary, I think, if you play at anything over like a 45-ish centimeter 360. Yeah, anyway, hopefully this helps, guys. I think it's a solid option. I think there are more premium options out there. I'm a big advocate for the Razer Atlas, and the Asus Moonstone I think is underrated. I think it's ever so slightly smoother than the Atlas. But for $70, this is a good, if you want to try it out, this is a good option. If you don't want to just try a cutting board or something.